Hello, hello, everybody. It's Katie Reed. I'm here again with another website takedown. This time I am talking to Sanara McKinstry, and we just met, and we are excited to dive into her website. Sanara is a clinician out in North Carolina, and I'm going to share my screen so that all of you can follow along and check out her website, which I have to say, I have a lot of great things to say about your website. Let me rearrange my pictures here. Now, I lost your picture, Sanara. Oh, there we go. You came back on. I was going to say,
Okay.
so I can't see you for a minute, but now I got you back. So we're good. Okay, so this is your website. And I have to say, right off the bat, I love the nice clean lines. I love the white space. I love the open feel to it. I really liked it. It was immediately clear to me like, oh, okay, couples counseling. Like I'm immediately going to know if I'm in the right place or the wrong place. You know, it's perfect. So I love that. And then I scrolled down a little bit and you guys, she has a video. And not only that, but this video, your face here is so warm and so friendly looking.
Aw.
And then I played the video. I won't do it now, but obviously people can go check out your site if they want to. I played the video. You should literally be a TV star. Like you are so good on video.
Oh
I
no.
was so, no, you're amazing. You're amazing. You were warm. You were friendly. You smiled the whole time. I know you are a student in my Savvy Practice course, and I don't know if you've gone to the little website video blueprint section, because I encourage everybody over there to do videos. This is exactly what I was talking about. Just like talk to your webcam, keep it simple. And one of the little tips is, can you talk and kind of always have a smile on your face as you're talking? Because people watching that naturally smile back to you. And you did that so perfectly in this video. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Do clients come in and comment and say, oh, I really liked your video?
The video's actually new. It's only been up like 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, good for you. Perfect.
hmm
Okay, that's exciting to hear. Well, I think they're going to, because I think you are so likable in this video. I just loved it. I'm going to bump back up here. Minor little thing. You use this font a lot throughout.
hmm
This
hmm
font makes me work.
Okay.
This font, I can't just glance at it immediately. I have to do a little bit of work to read it. And so I like scripty fonts, but I like them to be just sprinkled in here
hmm
and there, because otherwise you're really making people work. So I would pick a non-script font that you really like and have like all of this and stuff be in that non-script font. And then you sprinkle this in here and there. Like this should be a non-script font, because especially with the underline, I have to kind of like squint, like it just takes that extra split second to read it because it's in the script font. But anything like that that creates friction, like that extra little, what does it say there? That just makes your website, it slows somebody down on your website. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Now, what I do love is I like how you've done this bar up here. I think it looks cool with the double lines. How did you build your site?
Wix.
On Wix. Okay, cool. So I think it's cool up here with the double lines. It's nice and clean. Like I like that there's not a million choices up here. It's a nice clean header bar. I like all of that. So that's perfect. Now,
hmm
then I got into this and I was
hmm
like, okay, this is the part that we need to work on.
Okay.
So here is what I see here. I see you put a ton of work into this, right? Like you have PAIR, it's an acronym, and then you are explaining to clients, like you're kind of taking what you would normally say to a client and you're putting it into each of these columns, and you're telling people like, this is what we're looking for, passion, alignment, like all of these things in your relationship. This is so good, but this is the kind of thing that I would like to see on a wall of your waiting room as
Mm.
opposed to on the website. Because
Okay.
this immediately to me, I see big blocks of text and my eye just goes next and I keep scrolling past it.
Got you.
So people are not going to stop and read this the way you want them to. And it's a little bit too much about your mission and it's less about their pain.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Like as much as I genuinely like this, and I think you could even include a version of this almost on your About Me page, like under where you talk about yourself, putting a little bit of, hey, you know, PAIR in my mind actually stands for passion, alignment, investment, rebirth, and why this is important to me is XYZ. Because I think that can fold in, that part of the mission can like fold into who you are and why you started this practice. But I think putting it here as your main thing on the homepage, it's gonna make people bounce away.
Gotcha.
Some might bounce in because they might still love your video, but this, and you'll know within Savvy Practice, you've got that homepage copywriting blueprint. You've actually done some of that in here, which is perfect. Like you're using the words of the client, you're talking about their pain points right from the beginning, but we need to get this out of these 4 columns and just into like a typical website. I'm talking to you as the client. Here's what you're going through. Here's what I help people with, like those types of things. Make sense?
Gotcha.
Okay.
That does make sense.
So, and I mean, the truth is, you have done a lot of this work. Like you've got a lot of this here. So when we get this out of these columns, when we kind of play with it a little bit, just get it into some text on a regular looking section of your website, you're going to have a lot of this copy done for you. And the nice thing is, once we move it out of the columns, you can also make it a little bit bigger. You can make it a little bit easier for people to read. Like people will spend time then getting into that copy a little bit. Again, here, I would get out of the scripty font. Now does this, I suppose this does what? Goes to
Call the office.
I suppose, okay, so that's good if somebody's on mobile. I'm thinking if I'm on like desktop, like I am right now, I wonder, have you thought about adding an option to like book a call?
Under the video, that link sends people to a direct scheduler to where they can book a consultation.
Okay, good. So maybe do the button here that says call now or book a call, like give it 2 buttons there so that people have a choice. Because if they're on desktop, they might not realize that this was even up here. You know, it's kind of like on a website, we have to repeat things over and over because we have to write websites with skimming and multitasking in mind. Because that's what everybody's doing when they're looking at your site. They're skimming it, they're multitasking, they're talking to their kids, they're like, yeah, okay, you know, and they're busy. And so we have to write the website with that in mind. So I say, go ahead and put both of those on there, like put both buttons on there. And then I came down here and I was so happy because you were so invested in couples counseling all along. And then I saw this box for individual therapy and I had that moment of confusion, like, wait. So not that you shouldn't have it on the front page. I probably would keep something on there that says, hey, you know, in case you want therapy and your partner won't come, or you want therapy alone, we can also serve you. This part of the website though, it gets like, this is so nice and clean up here and it has all this white space and there's like room to breathe. And then this got really busy. Okay. So you have a bunch of pictures jammed up together. I'm going to suggest extra white space around these, you know, just give it a little breathing room. Like, let us not feel, it's actually hard to read the words here. So if you're going to lay words over a picture, you often need to do either a really dark overlay over that photo and white words, or a really light overlay and then black words or dark words over that photo, because otherwise they're too hard. Like this, I can not read this part at all, you know, so it just doesn't pop as well. I love that you have multiple pictures of you up here. I love these. So I was happy about that. I love that you have a quiz as an opt-in. And I was curious, are you building an email list or something from that quiz, or how do you manage the quiz?
So the results of the quiz take you back to the different landing pages for the services.
Oh, clever.
So I've been torn on doing an email list just because I know personally I hate email lists and being a part of them. And so that's something I've still kind of been conflicted about.
Well, it's definitely an amazing way to build a practice. I know a lot of therapists get torn about it because, for one thing, it's a lot of work. For another thing, it's definitely, you have to be a little wary as a therapist about HIPAA compliance and who's on your list and those types of things. So it is definitely work. I think you can certainly build a private practice successfully without ever thinking about an email list. At the same time, if you are somebody who eventually wants to grow, let's say, maybe into a group practice or into adding other people with you, it's an amazing thing to have. Email lists are the best way to stay top of mind with potential clients. And so it's a fantastic thing to do. One of the big things I teach, and it's over in Savvy Practice, is creating an email list, actually not of potential clients, but of potential referral sources. But that would be a very different thing. I like how you've set it up that your quiz is taking them back to landing pages. I think that's a nice idea. This looks really good to me. Like, I like how the white space you have here, it's nice. I like that. And so all of this, I like. Let's see now this, what happens when they, oh, this is like a form basically.
Right, if they want to be contacted.
Okay, that's good. I like
Mm-hmm.
that you're giving people multiple ways to get in touch with you, so that's good. Let me click on your About Me because you know this is the next place they will go. And again,
Mm-hmm.
it's cool that you have multiple headshots. This, when I looked at this at first, my main complaint is, again, it's that big block of text. So you're not writing for the skimmers. You're writing for people who are going to sit down and read a dissertation. And that's
Mm-hmm.
almost nobody online, unfortunately. Like, it's just
Right.
not. And so I love this because like you've got some humor in it, you know, you've got a little of you. I would definitely go through in Savvy Practice, go through the About Me page blueprint. It might help you just tidy this up a little bit. But what I do like about it is it's really approachable in the way you've written it already. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what you're going to have to do is break this up quite a bit. So
Okay.
online, you want your paragraphs to actually only be 1 to 2 sentences. Because you got to think, if I came to this page on my phone and it all shrunk down like this, I would be scrolling up forever
That makes
reading
sense.
that one paragraph. And so people just get like, they get like, I don't know, sort of eye blind to it, right? Like they just keep
Mm-hmm.
scrolling. So one thing that is really helpful is to use some headlines to get more white space in there. Maybe it looks like all of this is in bold. Maybe don't
Mm-hmm.
do the whole thing in bold. Use a
Mm-hmm.
slightly larger font, but don't make it all bold, and just bold the really important parts that you really want to make sure they catch and they see. That
Okay.
sound good to you?
It
But
does.
overall, I like that. I think this page is attractive. It's clean. So I like that about it.
Okay.
Again, I would sprinkle this in. Like, I think it's fine to put your name in the scripty font. Um, and I don't mind it here on the quote either. These are the kind of places that I would sprinkle it in, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to using it on something you really need them to be able to read at a glance like
Mm-hmm.
this.
Okay.
Cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then since couples are your main thing, I would, this is so minor, but if you can, put couples on the top of the list here.
Okay.
And I like that, now say I don't like the white behind the words. All you need to do on a picture like this, and I don't know how to do it in Wix specifically, but like if you gave them this picture, you can
Mm-hmm.
go into a service like Canva. Have you ever used Canva?
I have, and I think I know what you're about to say, like fix the transparency of the picture so that the
Yeah,
words pop.
you can fix the transparency on the picture itself, or the thing I like to do is you drag a box over your image and make the box either black or white, and then you change the transparency of that box,
Okay.
and it'll sort of hide your picture to the extent that you want it to. It'll either make it darker or lighter to the extent that you want it to. And then when you download it, it just downloads all as one image together, and
Mm-hmm.
then your words will pop better on top of it. So like
Gotcha.
in this case, since your words are black, I would probably drag a white box over this picture, fix the transparency on that, so some of the picture is still coming through,
Mm-hmm.
and then, because this becomes hard to read. And it just
Okay.
doesn't, it looks weird, you know, like it looks a little odd to have the white box behind it. So you're kind of like,
Uh-huh.
why is that like that? You know?
No, I
Um,
thought the exact same thing, so I'm glad you said that because I
yeah.
played with the image and it just didn't work, and so I tried to do the white behind the black, and yeah.
I
Okay.
know. And it's like, and sometimes when you just do the transparency on the image itself, it almost looks like you're going more to a black and white picture. And you're like, well, now
Right.
it looks boring. Like it's not quite right. So I know I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, one thing, and this happens on almost all website builders, when you have bullet points and then you center, it ends up looking funny like this, like the bullets
Mm-hmm.
jump all over. So I would just get rid of the bullet points. You've got a centered list. It's enough. Same thing here on your font. It's kind of all in bold. It's kind of small. I would again think about your skimmers. Like what I tend to do, if I have a list like this, I would have this sentence say, how to rebuild the foundation of friendship. I would have the only bold be rebuild the foundation of friendship. Like I want my skimmer to go, oh, rebuild the foundation, share fondness,
Okay.
address the four horsemen, you know,
Mm-hmm.
recover from affairs. Like you want them to read the certain important words, and you want to assume that nobody's reading everything. There's not. So you want to make it easy for them. That's always the main thing, is how do I make it as easy as possible for somebody to call me, reach out, feel seen, feel heard. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
save note on this picture. It looks like this picture was lightened up a bit. It probably
Mm-hmm.
either needs more or the words need to be in white
Okay.
just to make it more legible. It's all that reducing friction. You know, how easy can I make it for somebody to get the point of this page and take the next step to call me? Now, one thing you've done perfectly is you've got your call to action on every single page.
Mm-hmm.
You've made it easy for them. If you can, I would actually put a little square around this, because I felt a bit confused when I first looked at it because I couldn't quite tell that it was a form. So just like a little simple thin square around it would help. And then I like that you've got your paperwork. Like, we don't really need to go through that very much. Having a blog is fantastic because it can get you found. I would make sure when you're blogging, and you might do this already, and it looks like you've been really active. Good for you, writing all these posts about stay at home. You're awesome. You are really active on these. Figure out, you probably know this already, but going to Google, typing in keywords that your clients might be typing, and then literally writing blogs that use those exact keywords, those longer phrases, and you use that as the title of the blog. You use that exact phrase a couple times within the blog. This can so help you get found by the people searching in your local area. So this is awesome. I love how your blog looks. It's really nice and clean. It's really, really good. So questions for me from all of that?
I know you mentioned getting rid of the script font. So what about in the menu, at the very top of the page?
I would probably get rid of it here, because if of any place I want people to be able to choose something quickly at a glance, I want this to be just extremely legible. It's the same thing that we do with copywriting. It's clarity over cleverness. And it's kind of the same thing here. It's like clarity over beautiful or fancy or anything else. You really just need clarity most of all. One other super minor note, you don't necessarily need to say PLLC here. Like, they don't, like, it's your headline area. And you'll see when you go through Savvy Practice, I would generally say, you need a headline here that directly speaks to your clients. Now, while you don't have a headline that's like, hey, if you're struggling as a couple, we can help. What you do here is you say, I do all couples. Like, this is the couples counseling center. Like, it's very clear. And so I like that, because then you can get into, in your blog and other places, more of the specifics.
Got you.
Make sense?
It does.
So yeah, this is going to be your main page that I would work on here. This is going to be your biggest change, is just getting these out of your 4 columns, getting some of this copy cleaned up and just into a section that just now you're speaking directly to those couples, and you're directly saying, these are the main couples issues that I help people with.
Okay. And so instead of the 4 blocks, just kind of one section, and it can still be copy, but just a little bit more space and like 1 or 2 sentences at a time.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yep, you got it all. And then cleaning up this a little bit, giving this a little bit more white space. You may find that within here, as you rewrite this, that you're saying a line like, hey, if you're interested in individual therapy because your spouse doesn't want to come, click here. And then you don't necessarily need to have the separate box again down here. I would probably make your quiz opt-in more of a full-length opt-in, as opposed to sandwiching it, because I'm afraid of it getting a little bit lost. But those are your main things. Otherwise, I think, it's a pretty template. I like the look of it. It gives you some nice space. Like, you've done a really nice job on so much of the design. It's just little minor tweaks that'll go a long way.
Okay. Thank you
so much, Katie. I love the video. And I love the video. The video is my favorite part. So I am going to pause our share. Come back to, it doesn't want to pause our share. Well, never mind. Well, anyway, it was so good to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah. And if you want to hang out for 1 second, we'll just say goodbye to everybody watching. Thank you all for being here. And we will see you guys in the next one. There will be more of these videos coming out. So don't worry if you missed any part of it. There will be more of these coming out. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you like this and you want more, check out my website at katiereed.com. And remember, it's read spelled like read a book, R-E-A-D. And also check out these other great therapist marketing videos and hit subscribe so that you never miss a new little tidbit coming your way every single week to grow your practice. Bye.